Hello, you guys. This is your teacher Chris again, and welcome to our Fundamentals of English course code E21101. And this is our final online review test. So, for today, we are going to talk about the following topics as a review. Number one, we have preposition of time. Number two, we had adverbs of frequency. And number three, we have present simple and object pronoun. Let's start with preposition of time. Our preposition of time in our book, we have at, on, and in. Let's start with at. At always indicates an exact and specific time. Let's take the following sentences. I started working at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is an exact and specific time, so we use at right over here. The movie starts at 6 p.m. So another time is 6 p.m., exact and specific, so we use at. Next, the shop closes at 3 a.m. Another time, specific and exact, so we use at. Please note and remember that we say this as an exemption, like at the weekend, at night, at Christmas, at Easter, and at the moment. All right. So even though they don't denote exact and specific time, but in English we use at the weekend, at night, at Christmas, and at Easter, and at the moment. All right. So let's move on. Let's take on. On generally indicates a fixed date or day. I'll see her on Friday. Friday is a day, so we use on right over here. He broke a record on Monday morning. Monday morning or Monday is a day, so we use on right over here. Next, I have a meeting on 25th October, so this is a date, a specific date of the month, so we use on. So far so good? So let's move on. Now, let's take on in. In generally indicates an indefinite and unspecific time of months, seasons, years, centuries, and etc. For example, I will get a holiday in December. If you're not sure which time or what day, what particular day of the week or date of the month, you can use in December followed by the month. Murphy was born in 2001. So we're not talking about the specific day and date, so we use in right over here. I love playing cricket in summer. Summer is a season, so we use in right over here. So please remember right over here that we have very common exemptions, and they are in the morning, we say in the morning, we say in the evening, in the afternoon, in 5 minutes, in 6 days, in 2 years, and so on and so forth. As a review, so at for a precise time. Don't forget that. At precise time. In, we use them for months, years, centuries, and long periods of time. And on, we use it for days and dates. Now, let's take a look at this following expressions right over here and how do we use them in a sentence. Alright, so at night. We use at night in sentences similar to this, like the stars shine at night. Okay, so we use at night in similar sentences like this one. The stars shine at night. Next, we have at the weekend. We use it like this. I don't usually work at the weekend. I don't usually work at the weekend. At Christmas or at Easter, we use them in similar like this. I stay with my family at Christmas. Your turn. I stay with my family at Christmas. Very good. Now here at the same time, we use it in sentences similar as this. We finished the rest or we finished the test at the same time. We finished the test at the same time. So far so good, yeah? Alright, let's move on. At present, we use at present with the following statements such as this. He's not home at present. He is not home at present. Try later. Alright, so notice the use of the preposition of time at in the following standard expressions. Please note and remember that in some varieties of English, which are all acceptable as well, we say on the weekend and on Christmas as well. Alright, let's move on. Alright, for preposition in and on, we use in the morning, we use on Tuesday morning. In the mornings, we use in, but we use on Saturday mornings. In the afternoon, we use on Sunday afternoon. In the evenings, and then we use on Monday evenings. Notice the use of the preposition of time in and on in these common expressions. Alright, so far so good, yeah? Let's move on. Now, when we say last, next, every, this. Again, when we say last, next, every, and this, we do not use at, in, and on anymore, like this following sentences. I went to London last June. Although this is month, we don't use in anymore. Take note of that. I went to London last June. Next, he's coming back next Tuesday. He's coming back next Tuesday. Although this is a day, we don't use on anymore. You don't say he's coming back on next Tuesday. No, we omit on. We just use next and following or followed by the day. Next, I go home every Easter. I go home every Easter. We don't use at and followed by every because it's wrong already. So we use I go home every Easter. Just that. Next, we'll call you this evening, not in this evening. We never use in this evening. We should just say, we'll call you this evening. Now, let's move on to adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency, we use them to say how often you do things. Again, we use adverbs of frequency to say how often we do things, like this following examples. I usually go to school by bus. Your turn. Please read with me. I usually go to school by bus. Next. We sometimes watch films in the evenings. Read with me. We sometimes watch films in the evenings. Very good. My sister never gets up early. Say with me. My sister never gets up early. Alright, so let's take a look at this. In our book, we have 5 examples of basic adverbs of frequency, the indefinite adverbs of frequency. Now, we have always, which is equivalent to 100% of the time. You do it all the time. Usually is 75% of the time, often is 50%, and sometimes is 25% of the time, and never is like never, zero, naa. Alright, let's take a look at another use. Adverbs of frequency usually go before the main verb. That's like this following example. I sometimes help my dad with the cooking. I sometimes help my dad with the cooking. So here, after the noun I, followed by the adverbs of frequency before the main verb, which is help. Next, I never go shopping at night. I never go shopping at night. Very good. Next, she usually buy food at the canteen. She usually buy food at the canteen. Next, Mark often play basketball after school. Mark often play basketball after school. Alright, so adverbs of frequency go after if we have am, are, is, or can in the sentence, like this following sentences. Her room is always in a mess. Her room is always in a mess. Now here, there is an is. So we put always after is. Next, their class is usually noisy when there is no teacher around. Your turn. Their class is usually noisy when there is no teacher around. So here, is right over here. So we place the adverbs of frequency, the particular adverb of frequency right over here after is. Now, the school buses are never late. The school buses are never late. So since we have are here, we put the adverb of frequency right over next to it. Alright? So far so good? Let's move on. Let's go to present simple. Now, we use the present simple to talk about information. Letter A, true in the present. Letter B, happens regularly. Letter C, always true. And letter D, fixed in the future. Now, let's take some example sentences for true in the present. I'm 19 years old. Say it with me. I'm 19 years old. So here, the following sentence is true in the present because it's not forever that you're 19. Right now, you are 19 years old, but we use present simple. Next, I am a student or I'm a student. Makes sense because you are not forever a student. So this is just true in the present. He lives in London. He lives in London. So, makes sense. It doesn't mean that forever you're gonna be there. So we use present simple to talk about something that is true in the present. Let's move on. So another reason we use present simple is that when an action or an information happens regularly, like this following sentences over here. So let's try to read them. I play football every weekend. Say it with me. I play football every weekend. So right over here we have definite adverbs of frequency. So it's every weekend. So it means it happens every Saturday or every Sunday. Okay? Next, we always have lunch at the cafeteria. We always have lunch at the cafeteria. Now take note of this. Always is an adverb of frequency. So we have present simple, reason happens regularly. Next, Pakbong plays basketball every day. Again, Pakbong plays basketball every day. So we have here every day, so it happens regularly. Let's move on to letter C. Letter C is always true, meaning we're talking about facts or information that never changes. Alright? Like for this example, the human body contains 206 bones. A regular human body contains 206 bones. It would never change. Like it would become like maybe in like thousands of years after this lifetime, we'll have additional bones. Who knows? All right. So light travels at almost 300,000 kilometers per second. Light travels at almost 300,000 kilometers per second. So this is facts. Now, let's move on to letter D. Letter D talks about a fixed time or fixed in the future. Now, the school term starts next week, although we're talking about something about next week, but it is fixed in the future. We can use present simple. The train leaves at 7:45 this evening. So leaves is present simple because we talk about something that is fixed in the future. We fly to Paris next week. We fly to Paris next week. Same reason, fixed in the future. Let's move on. Now, let's do some exercises to review and to make sure that you understand the 4 reasons why we use present simple. Here, number 1, my brother works at the tax office. My brother works at the tax office. So what do you think? Yes, very good. This is true in the present. True in the present. Number 2, I play badminton twice a week. I play badminton twice a week. So what do you think the reason over here? It's letter B. Letter B, the action or the information happens regularly. Next, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. This is a fact or information or something that never changes. So this is letter C, which is always true. Very good. Number 4, his mother arrives tomorrow. His mother arrives tomorrow. So what do you think? Yes, you are correct. Letter D, fixed in the future. Again, fixed in the future. Let's move on. Now, the next topic that we're going to talk about is about object pronoun. The 7 basic pronouns take on different forms when used as object pronouns rather than as subject pronouns. Let's try to look at the following example. I as a subject becomes me as an object. You becomes you. And this rule applies for singular and plural use. He becomes him. She becomes her. And it becomes it, still the same. We becomes us. They becomes them. Now, we use object pronouns as the object of a verb. Like these examples. Can you help me, please? Can you help me, please? I can see you. I can see you. She doesn't like him. She doesn't like him. I saw her in town today. I saw her in town today. We saw them in town yesterday, but they didn't see us. We saw them in town yesterday, but they didn't see us. Next, object pronoun also, we can use them after prepositions, such as this following examples. She is waiting for me. She is waiting for me. I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you. Next, give it to him. Give it to him. Why are you looking at her? Why are you looking at her? Don't take it from us. Don't take it from us. I'll speak to them. I'll speak to them. So these following sentences, I hope these are helpful for you to understand more about object pronoun. So let's take this as an exercise. So number 1, Mary wants to talk to blank about your homework. Choices are we, I, or you. What do you think is the correct answer? You answer it. Alright? For me, I think the correct answer is Mary wants to talk to you. It's letter C. To talk about your homework. Now, where are Jill and Sherry? Didn't you invite blank? Choices are us, they, them. Where are Jill and Sherry? Didn't you invite? Very good. Letter C is the answer. Them. Next, number 3. The bread is stale. You can feed blank to the birds. Him, her, it. What do you think is the correct answer? Of course, we have to omit her and him. You can't say you can feed him to the birds. We don't do that. Or her, rather. We don't do that. So it, you can feed it to the birds. It, meaning the bread. Number 4, last but not the least, the movie was hilarious. We really liked blank. The movie was hilarious. We really liked it, them, him. The correct answer is correct. It. We really liked it. That's it for today, and thank you for swinging by and hanging out with me in this video, and I hope you learned new things and new additional facts and additional information which will be really helpful for you to get a higher score in your test tomorrow. And I do apologize for posting this video too late because Teacher Chris has a lot of things to accomplish last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So this came quite late. So now, let's talk about, before you go guys, let's talk about your answer sheet in your test. So you guys are all familiar with this, correct? So please fill this up with proper or the most appropriate information that I ask you about. Like your student number is the number that you have, usually the 4-digit number, and also your here class number is different from your student number. Class number is your number like 1, 2, 3, 4 in your class, but student number is the number that the school gave you. Right? So please don't forget to shade all the answers, all the letters that you choose and that you think is the correct answer. Shade it properly using a pen, or using, most probably the perfect thing to use this on this is pencil 2B. Okay, so please get ready with those. And with that, I really thank all of my students, my 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, for being there and being so supported and being very happy with all the activities that we did in our English class. I really thank you, and everybody deserves a round of applause. And also for my additional students like 1/1 and 1/9, shout out to you guys. Welcome to my class. So for the meantime, at the school, we don't have yet another or a new teacher to replace Teacher Gaga. I will be your teacher and I will be making your test for the meantime. And if you need more information, if you need more review, please do check out our previous videos since June 1st of this year, so that you get more knowledge and more information about the whole terms lessons. Alright, so this has been Teacher Chris, and this has been Fundamentals of English course code E21101. And thank you and goodbye, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. Adverb of frequency.